In the long history of our world, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending human health in its hour of danger. We have been asked by our government and public health officials to take responsibility for our own health and the health of others by staying at home. I do not shrink from this responsibility. I welcome it. Even though this is a frightening and difficult time, I do not believe that any of my peers would exchange places with any other people or any other generation. The optimism, the faith, the solidarity which we bring to this crisis will light our country, and the glow from that fire can truly light our world. Although each generation has had unique experiences, COVID-19 has made Generation Z one of the most exceptional generations ever in American history. Coronavirus, often referred to as COVID-19, causes SARS, which is a contagious and sometimes fatal respiratory illness. According to the New York Times, the outbreak of coronavirus began in Wuhan, China. COVID-19 is spread from person to person through coughing or sneezing. Virus-carrying airborne droplets can remain in the air or on surfaces even after the ill person is no longer near. People with COVID-19 generally develop symptoms including mild respiratory symptoms and fever. Approximately 3.78 million people are currently sick due to coronavirus, and at least 265,000 people have died around the world. However, sickness and death are not the only oppression and suffering that we have to overcome. Over 22 million Americans have lost their jobs since federal and state governments mandated non-essential companies to shut down their businesses and ordered people to shelter in place to stop the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. Both African Americans and Asian Americans have been socially impacted. African Americans have experienced a disproportionate burden of death as a result of systemic racism. Asian Americans are experiencing direct racism because coronavirus started in Wuhan. People of Asian descent are being verbally abused, spit on, and physically attacked. Coronavirus is not just a physical problem or financial problem, it is also a social problem. The impact of coronavirus on Generation Z will depend on our perspective. Even though coronavirus is like a dismal storm raining down on our lives, perhaps we can choose to focus on the hidden positive attributes of this situation. When the storm subsides and the rain relents and the clouds clear, we can look for a sign of promise for a better future. As a result of this pandemic, we now see that our health is a concession that can easily be taken away at any moment. And COVID-19 has taught us that sickness anywhere is a threat to health everywhere. Prior to this moment, we took our health for granted, and we did not understand how one person's vulnerability is all of our vulnerability. Our generation will probably be the most healthy because we will care more about our health. We will wash our hands, we will eat healthy foods, we will exercise and stay hydrated. We will see health as something of great value. Due to the safer at home guidelines, several people will be impacted because they cannot continue to work. During this time, several children's parents will be suffering from financial difficulties due to quarantine. This will affect the lifestyles of children around the world whose families may endure poverty and hardship. We will have to adjust to new environments during and after the times of this pandemic, but we will be more adaptable and resilient. On the other hand, coronavirus has also granted many of us the opportunity to see how lucky we are to be in a safe and stable environment with our families. After this experience, we'll have stronger relationships with our families because we have spent more time with each other and bonded more strongly. We have had to adapt to these new circumstances together. Overnight, coronavirus has caused us to be detached from our social networks. Ever so abruptly, school was closed, sports were canceled, and nearly all social interactions were abolished. This is especially hard on our generation because we participate in several recreational activities. For example, I've been involved in soccer, violin, art classes, coding classes, and dance teams. I am not alone. Many of my friends are also dynamic and enjoy several different recreational activities. From these activities, we learn important life skills like cooperation, perseverance, and creativity. These are lessons that we were taking for granted. During this global health crisis we are now facing, we have learned not to take things for granted. We have learned to be much more grateful for the experiences we have and the time we spend with others. Moving forward, this will make us more kind and compassionate and hopefully increase our tolerance of one another. Although video chatting or messaging have not been the same as physical interactions with others, being forced to communicate through technology has given us greater knowledge and skills that we can use to make the world a better place through technological innovation in the future. Even my second grade brother has learned to host a conference on a Zoom platform. Perhaps this situation is fertilizing his budding interest in the different fields of science and engineering. We have learned that technology can be used to help people connect, especially during a crisis. Technology is more than Minecraft. It is a bridge to keep people connected. We should remember that love, friendship, and happiness will always be there despite the scenario. But the greatest of these is love. We can work to enjoy the positive attributes of life and learn to spread joy and optimism throughout our world. During these times of uncertainty, it is best to try hard to stay positive and make the most of our time at home. To be frank, we all have the opportunity to learn from this experience, and we all should. But Generation Z is at the prime moment in our lifetime to have this experience influence our life choices and change who we become. We need to choose to be more grateful, healthier, more kind, and more innovative. In the wake of this pandemic, we need to look at the world through the prism of humanity and see the rainbow of opportunity. Thank you.